you had protests that started up in Kenosha, right? After what happened to Jacob Blake. And in the midst of these protests, you have a 17-year-old kid who comes out of state, Kyle Rittenhouse. He comes all the way from Illinois down to Wisconsin, brandishing a semi-auto, and he shoots 3 people, killing 2 of them. He shot and killed Joseph Rosenbaum, who's 36 years old, and he also shot Gage Grosskreutz, who's a 26-year-old, and he was shot in the arm, but he's expected to survive. A third man, named Anthony Huber, he understandably tries to intervene and get the weapon off of this guy and wrestle it away because he just shot 2 people. And while he was doing that, while he was trying to wrestle away the weapon, he got shot and killed himself. I mean, the guy's essentially being a hero and he gets killed for it. He's 26 years old. He's originally from Texas and he leaves behind a fiance and a daughter. Directly, immediately afterwards, after this unfolds, you see this Kyle Rittenhouse, who's just shot 3 people and killed 2 of them, walk up to the police like he's done nothing wrong, and they just casually drive past him like they can't even be bothered to arrest him. Like they just don't care. He literally just murdered 2 people right in front of them in plain sight, and they don't care. Now, you want to come and tell me that there's no double standard here, that cops treat everybody equally? There's no racism whatsoever, that this is all imaginary. I mean, look at this guy. He thinks he's Rambo or something. He thinks he's Rambo. So look. So you got people saying that, oh, he was just acting in self-defense. What self-defense? You are the one who came and shot at people with a semi-automatic. You threaten people with your presence. Of course they went at you. You are the threat. You came to a protest that is specifically against police brutality, against white supremacy. You came to stir trouble. You came to cause problems. You came to kill people. That's why you brought a semi-automatic with you. The intent is very clear. Moreover, this guy's 17. He's not allowed to own a semi-automatic. He's underage. He's in possession of an illegal firearm. He went and shot at people and intimidated them beforehand by brandishing this rifle. He has no right to open carry. He has no right to own the weapon in the first place. And he came out of state. He don't even live there. They making this excuse that, oh, he was here to defend property. What? First of all, you don't even fucking live here. What property are you defending? You have no stake in any property. You're from another state. You're from Illinois. What are you doing in Wisconsin? You're here to stir trouble. This is a terrorist. He came to kill people and he did it. He came to kill people because they're protesting for black lives. He's a white supremacist. He is a terrorist. Moreover, even if it was in his own state, how are you putting property over people? You're coming here to tell people that black lives don't matter? A bunch of cement and concrete is more valuable? Man, how low can you stoop? There's no virtue in that. You don't have any moral high ground. What do you think is so good about this stance that you are taking? You think you're morally superior or something? That makes you despicable. What the hell is wrong with you? This is the murderer. This is the terrorist, Kyle Rittenhouse. Pre-shooting interview explains he was there to help protect local businesses.
What are you doing out here? Obviously you're armed and you're in front of this business we saw burning last night. So what's up?
So people are getting injured and our job is to protect this business, and part of my job is to also help people. If there's somebody hurt, I'm running into harm's way. That's why I have my rifle, because I need to protect myself, obviously. But I also have my med kit.
Running into harm's way. No, first of all, it's not your job. You have no business there. There's a curfew, remember? Conveniently, the curfew only applies to people who are not white. It's not your job. You're not allowed to own that firearm. You have no business being in a protest to stir up trouble and attack people because they're trying to protest for the lives and the dignity and the respect that black people are owed. How dare you try to portray yourself as some kind of good Samaritan? There's nothing noble about you. Now look at this.
Need water? Seriously. Guys to our right, we need water.
We need water.
We'll throw you one.
Thank you. All right, come on, guys. Let's get out of here. Damn. Which way should we go?
Let's go get the couple. Thank you. We got a couple. We got to save a couple, but we'll give you a couple. We appreciate you guys. We really do.
Did you hear that? The police are giving them water. Openly collaborating with white paramilitary groups. Unbelievable. Here, another confirmation from one of them.
Well, do you know what the cops told us today? They were like, we're going to push them down by you because you can deal with them. And then we're going to leave.
See?
And then as soon as they said
The second the shots fired, I had to tell like 6 people it wasn't fucking you guys.
Yeah. So like we fucking, as soon as they said that bullshit to us, people hurt. Oh, you're hurt. You need to...
Openly admitting that they're working with the cops. I mean, this is beyond disgusting. And then to add insult to injury, Kenosha chief of police does a press conference, and I want you to listen to every single word that this guy is saying.
Persons who were out after the curfew became engaged in some type of disturbance, and persons were shot. Everybody involved was out after the curfew. I'm not going to make a great deal of that, but the point is the curfew's in place to protect. Had persons not been out involved in violation of that, perhaps the situation that unfolded would not have happened. So the last night, a 17-year-old individual from Antioch, Illinois, was involved in the use of firearms to resolve whatever conflict was in place. The result of it was 2 people are dead.
This is easily one of the most disgusting displays of victim blaming that I've ever seen. He's saying essentially that the 2 people that this white terrorist shot is their own fault because they violated the curfew. Motherfucker, he's not violating the curfew, the terrorist that you're protecting? Why aren't you blaming him for being outside during the curfew? Huh? What is this ridiculous, disgusting statement? That's what you had to say? It would have been better if you kept your mouth shut. It would have been better if you had said nothing at all. How disgusting. I mean, people are grieving, they're getting shot in the streets just because they want dignity. And you're defending the actions by saying, oh, well, you shouldn't have violated the curfew. Sounds just like the Zionist Israeli occupation forces. Same kind of bullshit. And then, did you hear what he said afterwards? The terrorist who came all the way from Illinois, who's underage and in possession of an illegal firearm, was there to resolve conflict. He executed 2 people. How the fuck is that resolving conflict, you motherfucker? Yeah, I guess that makes sense if you're a cop. To you, that's resolving conflict. I really can't tell if this is the chief of police or Mr. White Supremacist's lawyer. No mention of the facts. The guy's underage, he's out of state. He also shouldn't have been outside if the curfew is so important. The curfew is only there for one reason. Let's get that straight. They implemented the curfew to stop people from protesting against police brutality because they know they're in the wrong. They know that what they did to Jacob Blake, paralyzing him, shooting him with 7 bullets, was wrong, and people are rightfully angry. So to silence dissent and crush the protests, they implemented a curfew 2 nights in a row to shut you up. Where's your First Amendment, huh? They talk about democracy and invade the fucking planet and bomb the crap out of people in the name of democracy, and then you do shit like this? Wow. Also, what are you, so incompetent? Is the Kenosha Police Department so incompetent that they have to rely on 17-year-olds now to do their work for them? I thought you're the police. I thought you are supposed to protect people and resolve conflicts. If your cops can't even apprehend, I mean, someone they had no business apprehending in the first place. But if your cops cannot even apprehend an unarmed man without using a gun, you have the most pathetic, incompetent, disgusting morons on your force. But that's not the issue, is it? They're a bunch of fucking racists, because when you are able to draw a weapon and empty a clip into someone, that means you don't value their life. It's not, oh, they were a threat. No, this man is walking away from you. You tugged at his shirt. You chased him with 2 guns and emptied a clip in him. You're a fucking murderer. I'm so disgusted with all this. I really am. And this victim blaming bullshit, this cannot fly. This cannot fly, man. We're not making a false analogy here. We are not comparing oranges and apples. No. This is in the same place with the same police department. They shot an unarmed black man 7 times in the back and paralyzed him. and a white terrorist with a semi-automatic that he's not even allowed to have, who murdered 2 people right in front of them. They just drove past and couldn't even be bothered to arrest him. Arrested. He actually escaped back to Illinois. He's still there. They have to extradite him. He's not even in their custody. This motherfucker fled. That's not incompetence. We have 2 cases in the same city, in the same with the same police department. The black person, they use deadly force against him. The white person, the murderer, nothing. They even let him leave.